Welcome back. The DA is accusing the ANC of running a parallel deployment process in government. It says minutes of the governing party's deployment committee shows interference in filling top positions. It includes the judiciary, a Chapter 9 institution and the Human Rights Commission. DA MP Leon Schreiber joins us now from Cape Town to discuss this matter further. Leon, thank you so much for your time this evening. I mean, when we're looking at the minutes that, of course, now the Democratic Alliance has been successful in being able to obtain, just take us through, and I know that you won't be able to take us through the entirety of it, but Leon, just take us through in terms of what we need to understand and know as South Africans regarding the contents of of those minutes.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening, Faith, and to the viewers. So these minutes that we've obtained are the same minutes that the ANC submitted to the Zondo Commission after the DA requested it over the last couple of years. And they span the period from 2018 up until about mid-2021, just before President Ramaphosa actually testified in front of the Zondo Commission. What these minutes show is that the tentacles of cadre deployment has really spread throughout each and every part of our state. So by our count, there were at least 96 different government departments or agencies or state-owned enterprises where the cadre deployment committee interfered in the appointment process during this 3-year period. Now, keep in mind that this is a national cadre deployment committee. We understand that the ANC also has provincial and even some regional deployment committees. So it just shows you, likely from municipal level up all the way through to our constitutional court, there's not a single state institution that has not been affected by a small committee within the ANC that sits literally in offices in Luthuli House and decides and influences who gets appointed to positions of power in the state.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about which, is it true that also the deployment committee was also concerned themselves that when ministers as well as the president made appointments without even consulting the very same committee first?
Indeed, it just shows you the kind of mindset that we are now able to see thanks to these minutes being exposed publicly. We can see that ministers and even the president being admonished if they dare to make an appointment outside of the scope of the cadre deployment committee. We also see from the minutes as a standing item in many of these meetings, an item called applications for deployment, which appears to be a situation whereby people are possibly sending their CVs or directing requests to be deployed directly to the ANC's cadre deployment committee rather than to the competent entity within the state. And that's why we say that as much as the DA has been warning about cadre deployment over the years, this is really, really staggering evidence of how an entire parallel appointment process has been built that circumvents the state completely. And you'll see in the minutes things like Comrade Supra is available for international deployment, whereby apparently a senior ANC official has applied to the deployment committee to become an ambassador. The political party decides.
Sure. And then on the other side of it, at least 96 different government departments, agencies, as well as the boards of state-owned enterprises, where we're seeing that even with the minutes between December 2018 as well as 2021, under the presidency of Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC's cadre deployment committee interfered in the appointment of senior public servants. 96, that is no small number. So one wonders, when it comes to, number one, merit, when it comes to the ability to do one's job, when it comes to the qualifications that are required to do one's job, is any of that considered anymore? And if not, then who is leading some of our integral as well as significant organs of state?
Well, Faith, the thing is that we can now see the answer to those questions in these minutes. We can see what the cadre deployment committee considers to be important. There are references to officials or people who applied for positions as cheeky. We have the personal opinion of members of the cadre deployment committee influencing who gets appointed. We have consistent references to race and gender and other identity markers and things that clearly signal that loyalty to the ANC and its ideological project or its ability to milk the state for its own benefit is the deciding factor in who gets appointed in many of these positions. And so 96 different institutions spanning everything from the water boards in many parts of the country. And I will just like to share with viewers that at one point, while discussing which cadre should run entities like Rand Water, Bloemfontein Water, there's an offhand comment in the minutes that Jagersfontein in the Free State doesn't have water. But apparently the ANC doesn't see the irony in discussing which cadre will manage this entity, even as there is already no water anymore. You mentioned the Human Rights Commission, the Commission for Cultural and Linguistic Rights, and of course the courts. There were two vacancies at the Constitutional Court that were considered by the Cadre Deployment Committee, as well as vacancies at the Supreme Court of Appeal and the High Court divisions in the Northern Cape and the Eastern Cape. In every single case, the person who was recommended by the ANC Cadre Deployment Committee long before the JSC had made a decision was appointed as a judge. That should raise very, very serious red flags about the interference of a political party in the judiciary of South Africa.
So then, according to your assessment of this, when it comes to the judiciary, because this has been an ongoing conversation, which will probably not stop right now, is our judiciary captured?
Well, one of the ways in which we can really comprehensively answer that question is by obtaining more of these minutes. So dating back to before 2018, that's why the DA is proceeding with our court case against the ANC to obtain, if not minutes, then other records. We've even asked we've asked them for email correspondence, WhatsApp correspondence, because we are absolutely determined that South Africans should know the extent to which the ANC is directing appointments, including in the judiciary. So we have now hard evidence of this happening in at least one case. We will be working to get more evidence dating back to before 2018. But at the moment, the DA is considering next steps, and that includes what we can do from writing to the JSC, for example, to get to the bottom of this and understand the true extent of this problem, whereby the ANC is recommending interfering with the appointment of judges. So we will need the full picture to understand exactly how widespread this practice is. But we know cadre deployment in this form has reached the Constitutional Court, and now is the time for us to really take stock of where our country is heading when a political party can sit with sometimes 5 or 6 people in a room and decide who should be on the Constitutional Court. That is absolutely unacceptable in a democracy.
We'll leave it there. Leon Schreiber, the DA member of our parliament, just giving us the latest on terms of those minutes that have now been obtained and made known to the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. And of course, as was handed over by the Cadre Deployment Committee when it comes to the African National Congress. Of course, we do know that it's not illegal when it comes to the Cadre Deployment Committee as well, but it says something about who should be sitting where. And are those people filling those positions because they're popular with the political party, or they actually have got merit to do the job?